Hello and welcome to You Beauty. This is the podcast for your face. This is The Formula and I'm Kelly McCarran. And today you're in for such a treat because I've got the absolutely beautiful and outstandingly delightful Pia Whitesell here. Well, not here actually. We're doing it via the television because she's over in LA. But we have such a beautiful chat about redefining what beauty means and just so many incredible things. So I hope you enjoy this conversation. Okay, so Pia, we are so excited to have you here on You Beauty. You started in the industry by winning a Dolly modeling competition as a teenager. Then you went on to being Home and Away. And then you are now an ambassador. You've also done many other things, but you are now an ambassador for a global brand. How has your relationship with beauty and your appearance evolved from the early Dolly days to now? Because you've had quite the career.
Yeah, I think with all of the lived experience that I have had in the industry, I think it starts becoming a lot less outward and a lot more inward. So the way that you take on beauty, the way that you take on lifestyle changes, the way that you take on, health, it all starts becoming about, okay, what makes me feel good? What's going to make me perform better? What's going to make me what's going to give me joy, what's going to fill my cup from the inside. And I think that when I was younger, obviously in the Dolly days particularly, it's a lot more outward. It's about, what are people going to think, and am I going to impress this person that way, or what a casting director is going to think, or da 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 da. And it's so much of it is outward, and the validation from external validation was really the thing that was driving the ship. But now I think, I'm 41 years old. I just don't care. I'm just like, what makes me feel good? What puts a smile on my face? What makes my relationships with others better? And so it's just a reframing of the way that we think of health, beauty, and lifestyle.
I completely agree. And sometimes people will say, like, oh, you just seem so confident. And I genuinely do think the older you get, it's also, as you said, you just don't care. Like, you literally just don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. But the younger you are, you do. You're like, oh, I care.
Yes,
Yeah,
like,
I
yeah,
am who I
yeah,
am.
no, that's right. Yeah.
So you've experienced, I'm assuming, given the industry, decades of beauty industry pressure from a very young age. Because how old were you when you won the Dolly competition? A teenager,
14.
14. So that's very
Yeah.
young. How did that shape your initial perspective on aging compared to now?
Again, beauty standards were so external.
Mm,
Everything was outside of yourself. Everything was about, what these celebrities look like, or these models, or even people that you love, even your own family. My aunts who I look up to, my mother who I looked up to, set a high standard of beauty and presentation, and they're stunners. But it was always like trying to get to a level and attain something that is external. And I remember when I was young, I was obsessed with Christy Turlington, and I was obsessed with all the 90s supermodels. I just thought that they were just these like stunning, gorgeous women. And then what really changed was when I heard them, speak, and when I'd see interviews, and they're just so human. And it's like, oh, they're having their own experience. They're not waking up like that. They're not jumping out of bed feeling like that. They're also on their own journeys
mm.
to, wherever they are, whether it's on, cover of a magazine, catwalk, at home in their PJs, whatever. There's a life that comes with it. And I think, like I said earlier, initially everything is about like this outward attaining this status that you want to get to, or this certain place that you want to arrive at. And then you realize, oh, it's actually all about the journey. And the all of the beauties in those moments of the journey of it. And I started modeling young, but then I also became a mother really young too, and that changed everything.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that as you get older and go through a lot of those like different lived experiences, you do realize, as you were saying, it's about doing things that give you that intrinsic value and intrinsic like rather than the extrinsic stuff, because you realize that it just
Yeah.
doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
So you have said that you're in your 40s and you've never felt more comfortable in your skin. Talk to us about how that has evolved. I guess you sort of just did, but like, would you say that it's something that's happened over the past couple of decades, more since you became a mum, or more recently as you entered your late 30s and stopped caring as much?
Yeah. I mean, I would say that I would say definitely becoming a mother, and you know, you're outside of yourself
Yeah.
in a sense that everything is about the baby, and then everything's about this child, and then your purpose and your reason for being exists in this relationship, right? So then again, like we said earlier, like the amount, like you just don't give a
Yeah.
shit. Like it's like,
You don't
I
have
mean, you
time.
care,
You just don't have time to
but
care.
you don't have time. So that's why like efficiency becomes really important. Things that are simple but effective, things that you know just work, things that you can rely on, you know, products that are like tried, true, and tested, cut through the bullshit. You don't need to even worry about it. You know, you don't have time for your, you know, 1 hour skin routine. Like it's like no one has the time for that. So there's that side of it. And then there's also like the beautiful holistic side of it. It's like you're in you know, this exchange and relationship with this child, and they don't see you're pretty, they don't see any of that, like none of that matters. And so the way that you change it in your own mind, you know, the self-worth, the confidence, the value is no longer associated with what you're projecting outwardly.
Because they
So
also
that happens.
couldn't care less. They don't, as you said, they don't know that if you're pretty or not, because to them,
They don't.
and especially, I mean, I'm sure that people that have daughters would say the same, but there's something, little boys and the obsession that they have with their mums and how they think that we are literally the most beautiful, exquisite person in the entire world, even first thing in the morning when we wake up and look like something that the
Yeah.
dog vomited. Like, they just think that we're the
No,
best thing ever.
wake up like Shrek, not Fiona, and they're like, oh,
Yeah, you're the
you know?
best, mummy. What would you say
Yeah.
to that 14-year-old girl who won that modeling competition about beauty and self-worth?
Oh, I would say to her, you don't even know. With maturity and with, like I said, just lived experience, you learn so much. You learn so much about yourself. You learn so much about relationship with others. You learn so much about time management. You know, I would just say to her, you don't know yet, but when you do, oh my God, it's glorious. Like when it clicks in and you're like, nah, you know, I'm good. You know, and it's not like a cocky thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's
Confidence.
not cocky. It's just you've just arrived.
Yeah.
You've arrived, and you arrived at being authentic, and you're like, take it or leave it.
Do you
I'm good.
think if you'd had a daughter and she wanted to do a Dolly modeling competition, if it still existed, when she was that age, knowing everything you did later and everything that you'd learnt and been through on the way, would you have encouraged or discouraged such a venture for a 14-year-old?
I would have discouraged it. I would 1000% have discouraged it. It's interesting. I'm going through this at the moment with my niece. I'm sure she won't mind me talking about it, but she's beautiful, and she's had a lot of knocks on the door about modeling, and you know, she's a teenager, and Auntie Pia is like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like, we'll finish school, we'll go to uni, we'll figure out what our vocation is in this life, and then once we're done there, then we can, then for sure,
Yeah.
you know, absolutely for sure, you know, but by then you've got figured out in your own mind what it is that you want to do, you know.
Exactly. And you're not
So,
sort
yeah.
of growing up with so much emphasis on what you can
Yeah.
offer purely from a physical point of view.
Yeah.
So congratulations, because you are Olay's newest ambassador, and I am a recent convert to the collagen peptide cream. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
it's just so good. I had not used Olay for years. Like, you know, it was something that my mum used growing up, but I hadn't used it for years, and I'm just so impressed. What drew you to the Hello Better Me campaign specifically? As I'm sure that you would get a lot of job offers coming through. So what made you go, you know what, yes, Olay, I will do this?
So when I moved to LA nearly 5 years ago now, I took a break from acting, modeling, everything really, to focus on my kids and to focus on my own business. And I was like, no, I don't need to do it. And then after that hiatus, this job came about, and I was like, interesting. I'm like, I'm curious. Like, it actually sparked my curiosity, and something in my brain went, oh no, this is tried and true. Like, this is an OG product. Like, you've seen this in your grandmother's like drawer. You've seen this in your mother's drawer. Like, this is OG. Like, this is the real thing. And so, I remember using Olay, like the pump, the cream. I remember all of it. And when I learned about these products and I started trying them out, I was like, oh no, this I can actually like get behind. Like, I'm not just a hired gun, just, spruiking whatever. This was like, oh no, this works. And so I was just really excited about it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I think the OG aspect of it, I was like, oh, like I can really speak to this, and the serum, the ultra firming serum, try it. Like that, they're saying is like, it's like like a facelift in a bottle or whatever, but it's so lightweight and it's so effective, and it works. It works on the makeup, it works as a primer, it works as a nighttime thing. Like, it is good. I see a difference. I'm just excited to get behind something that I truly believe in and that I see a difference with. And again, it's a thing that you put it on the shelf and then you can get rid of a bunch of other stuff that just doesn't serve.
Exactly.
It just takes time.
And you can pick it up at the pharmacy. You don't have to go into a Mecca or a David Jones and spend $300 on a serum that you're like, I don't know if it's going to work.
I'm a big pharmacy, I love like makeup. I love like Elf. I love NYX. Like I love high-low stuff. Obviously I have a bunch of really luxurious things, and that's fine. And, I get given a lot of things just in my industry. But yeah, it's like, it's the pharmacy brands that I always go back to.
And it's the fun of finding really affordable things, so that then you can show, you might be holding a really beautiful designer handbag, but then someone's like, oh, and what is on your lips? And you're like, oh my goodness, it was $20. It was, I just picked it up.
Or in my case, it's like, it's $4.
Actually, sorry, you are in LA. Yeah. You can go down to a CVS and find something for $4, but yeah, $20 in Australia is pretty affordable these days. Olay, the campaign that we're talking about, the Hello Better Me campaign, centers around reframing the mirror from self-critique to self-celebration. How has your own relationship with the mirror changed over the years? And did it change through COVID when we had to look at ourselves a lot more than we used to?
That's a good question. I've always, I don't know, I think my mum, I'm going to give her some props here, because I think she always made me feel, even when I was modeling, even when I was a little girl, and then, I was going to castings and I was, like put up against other girls for jobs or whatever, like, she always instilled in me like a real like sense of joy in myself. Like, she always allowed me to like, find the little quirks and the little things that made me me, and like would actually say to me, like, go smile at her, like, go smile at her. So I always kind of did grow up with this sense of like, it's not about how the makeup and the hair and whatever, even though I've got a face full of makeup and my hair is done right now. But, it's the little quirks that I've always kind of found the funny in and kind of found the joy in. And so that has only grown deper, because now I can really take the piss out of myself.
Well, you're Australian at your heart, right? So
like, now I really now I'm kind of like, I'm brutal, I'm savage, but it's finding the funny in it. Like, there is a joy, there is a funny, there is like a little bit of a, you kind of
lighthearted humor.
Yeah.
find the joy.
Yeah. It's not that yeah, there's so much more. There's so much more. There's stuff that is really, serious, and there's stuff that is really important. And those things, we take that way. But man, if you've got like a huge zit, or like
It's
a chin hair or
it's
whatever, like
funny.
it's fucking
Yeah, and
funny.
it doesn't matter. And I think that's
Gray hair, like
yeah.
with the tweezers, like tweezing it out.
My roots, I'm like, oh no, for goodness, none of it matters. And I think sometimes people find that a little bit discombobulating if I say something like that. We are the biggest beauty podcast in Australia, so we talk about beauty, objective beauty and products all the time. But it is just also that the joy in those little moments, whether it's putting on a lipstick and how that makes you feel, but also exactly like you said, just still taking the piss and realizing that it's not that serious. We can be lighthearted about it. It's just fun.
It is. Obviously, everyone has a different
Mm.
experience and a different journey with it. But, my experience at the moment is just like, I don't know, just enjoying it, having fun with it, taking the piss, being silly, whatever. And I actually think, I'm, yeah, like turning 42 this year, and I feel like I've arrived.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, cool. Like, this is what I look like. Great. I'm like, oh shit, a couple of little lines there or whatever. But it's like, this is it.
Mm.
And and I love it all. I'm grateful for it all, because it all tells a story.
Well, I love that they say that it's not like changing that perception from a sign of aging to a sign of resilience. So they're not just
Yeah.
lines on your face, like they tell different stories. So, what would
Yeah.
you say are some of your signs of resilience?
Well, obviously we've got a lot of smile lines around around the eyes. So there's been a lot of smiles, and then, just I don't know. I get this crazy vein that goes right here, right? Like when I'm angry or when I'm mad. And I remember being really insecure about it. Like, oh, I get this vein. And my husband was like, it's one of the things that I love most about you. Like, you're talking from the inside through your face,
You are
like you're
talking
either
from the vein. The vein is speaking.
the vein is speaking, and it's like I'm either like and it really is either when I'm like pissed or when I'm like in raptures of laughter. And I remember being insecure about it, and now I'm like, this is one of those things that it's a funny, like my
Yes.
vein is
Mm.
talking. So that's one of that doesn't really answer the question properly, but
No,
it is one of the things
it's such a good,
that actually does it's something that, yeah, like it's something that I wear on my face, on my physical being, that, yeah, like I really enjoy it
mm,
now, whereas I used to find it, I used to be insecure about it. But
it's
now I'm like, oh, you've really got me engaged
because
if
the
the vein
vein's out.
comes out.
I'm really enjoying this conversation if the vein's out. It's so funny. I actually get exactly the same vein. Maybe it's something that,
Right.
but I get mine if I'm really upset about something. So if I'm on the phone to my
Right.
sister and I'm crying or I'm really upset, she will, to lighten the mood. And now my mum's in on this joke about my vein because it's its own person sometimes. And they'll be like,
Yeah, no shit.
how upset are you on a scale of like, is the vein out? Has the vein made its appearance? Because it starts making its little way out, and then that immediately lightens the mood because I just start laughing because I'll think, oh goodness, yes, or I'll look in the mirror and go, yep, she's out,
Oh, yeah.
she's pulsating. Can you talk us through your beauty routine? So taking all of this into consideration, are you a 21-step skincare gal? I'm assuming no, everything that we've discussed thus far, but can
No,
you
no.
talk us through what you're sort of doing in the morning, nighttime? I know you said that you do have
Okay.
someone that does hair and makeup for you for occasions,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
just what
Yeah.
you like to do yourself.
Okay, so I love a shower. I love a shower
I mean,
routine.
that's
Like
good.
I
You
kind
might
of
be a bit smelly if
like
you didn't.
that's where I like doing my things. Like I like, using like an exfoliator on
Yeah.
my face in the shower, and I like using like a body scrub in the shower or like a shower oil. Um, so like I do love a shower moment. I have like 3 different facial cleansers that I like rotate between or use them all at once, depending on how I'm feeling or how much time I have. So the shower moment is the moment where it starts for me. And then I get out of the shower, then I moisturize. And so that's where the Olay collagen or the peptide cream comes in. I'm like, yep, moisturize. Then I will go, so then I'll go down, pop the coffee on, come back up. Then I like to do a daytime under eye cream or a serum.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like using one with retinol, obviously, during the day. So I just use one that's more cooling or like anti-puffing. At nighttime, I like a retinol one. But so that's that. And then I go in with like little concealer on spots. I've got pigmentation at the moment is crazy because summer.
Yeah. LA
So
summer.
I've got melasma here and melasma above my lips and like melasma up here. So I'm like, okay, let's conceal that. So this is now we're going into my makeup routine. So that's with skincare is one
Very
like
quick.
it's
Yep.
shower, like, and we're ready, and now we're in makeup, and it's just a little concealer, and then it's bronzer, blush. Like if I'm going out of the house, it's if people are coming over, it's always just like I want to look fresh. I want to look like I've been awake for hours, even though I haven't. But then if I've got something or an event or whatever, then it's always the brown eyeliner. Like that is in the waterline. I don't know. I've been doing it since I was a kid. It's something that I feel like now is my eyes don't look right if I don't have it in. And then eyelash curler and then a little bit of MAC balm on the lips and then I'm out.
Oh,
So it is kind of simple.
I love that though.
But then if I'm going out, then I'll put mascara on. Then I'll actually do lipstick, lip liner. But otherwise, I keep it quite simple.
Do you prefer, I mean, sorry to any makeup artists that are listening, but would you prefer to do your own makeup for special events or have someone else do it for you?
I've done my own makeup for events. I find that for whatever reason, when it photographs, it just doesn't photograph right. When a makeup artist, I don't know if they do different layers of it or, they're contouring, they're powdering, they're light, dark shade, everything. It always looks better when a makeup artist does it when there's photos. If it's just me at an event and there are no photos, I actually prefer my own makeup. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, the flash or whatever. My makeup looks like I'm not wearing makeup.
Do you have any moments of glam that stick out in your mind, red carpet moments that they're your favorites to look back on?
Yes, actually,
Like
my
what pops
40th
out?
birthday.
Your 40th?
Yeah, my 40th birthday, I got this amazing makeup artist from LA called Diana Shin, and she was the first person that ever did. Because in Australia, we actually we have incredible makeup artists, but they do a really beautiful kind of natural, beachy, like undone but done. Even when I do like full glam for an event or something in Australia, it's just classic. It's like, a winged liner and it's just always clean. For my 40th here in LA, we went like full like Kardashian makeup, right? And it was the first time I've ever done it. First time I've ever done it. And I didn't know what my face would respond like. Girl, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And it was hours and hours and hours, but oh my God, the contouring, the different levels of contouring, then the highlighting, and then the powder, and then the kind of overdrawn lip, and then the lashes. It was so extra, but I was like, oh, this is a vibe. I mean, I'm not going to ever do it again. 40th birthday, great. But I was like, this is cool.
Yeah, fun to do for something like your 40th as well.
It was really like, it was almost like costume makeup.
Yes, well, it is.
It was like, yeah, it was costume makeup. It wasn't like, oh, we're making Pia look like Pia. It was like, oh, we're going to take Pia's face and just do full glam on it. And it was really cool. I was like, wow.
And on what you personally do with your skin and like your beauty routine, are you a lover of different treatments? Do you get any different treatments? I personally love RF needling, although it's been a while since I've had it. Or are you too busy? Because you do.
I don't really, I've got an amazing lady here. She was recommended by a bunch of friends and she's awesome. But in terms of like needling or anything like that, I pigment. So I'm one of those people that when I get a cut or even like a scrape or whatever, like I scar.
Yeah.
So I'm really scared about doing anything like that or any lasers or anything, because I feel like just the color of the melanin in my skin will, and other people have said to me like, oh, I'd be afraid to put a laser to it. I'm not sure. We should do a patch test here, a patch test there. So I've just avoided needles and lasers, but the time will come though where I'm like, all right.
You're like, oh yeah, I need some extra help here.
But for now, I'm like, all right, I've avoided it. And, I do little bits here and there, but in terms of like lasers
like frequent,
or anything like that, I'm scared.
Do you like a facial? Yeah. Some people don't like them.
I do. Yeah, I do. I do. It's just like, they're like 90 minutes. Yeah. I get restless.
Yeah.
I'm like,
all of the beauty things take so long, like nails,
it takes so long.
hair. Yeah. People need to come up with something that's a lot more efficient.
Just quick. Yeah, I agree. I do have a red bed though in my house. So like a big full body red bed. So I red bed a lot. And actually the light therapy is a part of the facial that my facialist does. So I'm kind of using my biohack red bed to kind of do the whole thing anyway.
That's also
my justification for it. And the red bed is 20 minutes.
Wow.
In and out.
It's also meant to be really good for relaxing you, your sleep. Like I've read so many benefits about having one of those. Yeah, no, it's
amazing. I mean, Patrick and I use it all the time. Kids use it. It's really good for like just cellular renewal, and then for collagen boosting, and then getting rid of zombie cells that are in the body just sitting there stagnant, taking up room. So that's what they say.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'll believe it. We'll buy it.
If Brian Johnson recommends something, I'm like, well, it must be good for longevity.
Yeah, or Andrew Huberman. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. If they say that something's good, I'm like, I will look into it then.
Yeah.
Well, we can't thank you enough for sparing your time. We know how busy you are and you're also on the other side of the world at the moment. So thank you so much. And hopefully we can catch up when you're in Australia for some Olay celebrations later in the year.
Thank you so much for having me. This was really fun. Thank you.
Thank you.